All of a sudden, you just hear this kaboom! And I was like, what the hell was that? And he was just like, it's Tannerite.
It was Tuesday night, which is a very weird night to have some kind of crazy stuff happen. A friend of mine hits me up, says, hey, what are you doing tonight? I'm like, oh, no, just working at the shop as I normally do. I work late most nights during the week. And he sent me an address. He pinged me his location. He said, hey, come out. We're having a little get-together. Okay, cool. It's a car meet. So I jump in my car, and I run over there. And I get there, and everybody's hanging out. And it's just, they're all kind of uncomfortable looking, like something just happened when I pulled up. And sure enough, there's two cop cars that pull in behind me when I come in there to come hang out with them. As soon as I get out of the car, I say, yo, like, what's going on? Like, what's up? Like, one of the guys was doing some donuts. We're having some fun. I'm like, oh, it's one of these things. Okay, I see how this is going now. It made me very, very curious of what was kind of going on. And this was kind of as the takeover stuff started to happen. It was the early stages of it. About 2 or 3 weeks later, I had a friend of mine, Bear Dellinger, who was in town. I decided to bring her with me when I got another address ping.
We meet up at this gas station. I'm like seeing all of these cars. They had Demons, they had the Mustangs, they had freaking Hondas, motorcycles, literally anything and everything that the Atlanta scene has other than high exotics, because that's the street racing side. So with these takeover guys or gals, it's usually a lot of just high school F-boys that are there, you know what I mean? And they're just wanting in for the ruckus because there's nothing else to do. Their cars ain't fast enough, they just want to go do donuts, or I wouldn't even call them donuts. They're like spin-outs.
It was way more advanced, aggressive, whatever you want to call it. It had gone from here to here. We pull in, there's 10, 15 cars doing donuts. Cops are coming, people are blocking them out of the parking lot, all kinds of wild stuff.
Me and George get there, and all of a sudden I'm like filming everything. A guy's doing like 2 steps in his 350Z and just flames going galore. And then George is like, all right, we got the address. Everyone starts rolling out. This gas station is packed. So it took us about like 5 to 10 minutes to finally get out of the gas station because of how packed it was. And we're just rolling. Everyone's like, immediately like intermediate doing street racing at times as well to get to the next spot. So we get there, and it's at this park and ride.
I get there, and I get a little nervous. I'm like looking for the exit. Okay, there's the exit. That's where we're going to go. I'm going to park over here. Make sure we're kind of near the exit. So if I'm running out my truck, which is almost by the exit. And I drove a truck to make sure it's discreet. So if we leave, I'm not in a car. I'm cool. So we're just hanging out and whatnot, and she's just really into it. She's very excited, and she like runs into the action. She's filming, everybody doing donuts and this and that.
I wanted to get it all. I'm like vlogging, doing my own thing with my vlog camera. One guy's like on the back of the car sitting, while he's doing donuts. And another guy's like popping out of the freaking sunroof filming. And I'm like, this is wild. Like, what is going on? Like, it's not even like real life feeling, and there's probably like George says, 1,000 cars in this park and ride, like people parked all on the bridge area, on the grass, like on curbs, just to get their eye and to see what's going on and to be in the action. I was with a dude, and I just all of a sudden see him back up. And I'm like, where'd you go? And he's like, there's Tannerite, and I didn't know what this was. I kept calling it Tangenite. I'm like, what's Tangenite? And he's like, no, Tannerite. And I'm just like, okay, cool. I was like, I didn't know what it was. And all of a sudden, this dude puts this box down, and I'm just chilling, just being myself, filming, like, oh. All of a sudden, you just hear this kaboom! And I was like, what the hell was that? And he was just like, it's Tannerite. And everyone just scatters.
Basically, after that went off, everybody started running towards their cars because apparently somebody after that said cops. And when you have that many people that are that nervous, somebody yells cops, everybody's out. Then I got nervous because I started hearing like pow, 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 pow. I thought it was an exhaust system or something. No, it was somebody shooting a gun in the air because they were excited. Right on the side of the highway with all these people around.
And I was like, are they shooting off guns? I was like, what is happening right now? So I start running. I'm like, okay, this is enough for me. Awesome sauce. You guys are cool. Coolio. So I start running, and all the cars are leaving. There's a car coming. I almost get hit by a car. And I was like, oh, and like I literally like kind of slide off the dude's hood. And then I just get into George's truck and we just take off. And like, you know, we was gonna go to the next location, but by that time it got so hectic. I think everyone was like, okay, we're done. We're over.
I've been to 3 more since then. The last one I went to was so insane that the cops couldn't even get to the cars. So we were on 85 South right before Georgia Tech. And there was probably a good solid 1,500 to 2,000 cars packed all the way to the grass. So the cops couldn't even get around them. Camaro doing donuts under the bridge in the middle of Interstate 85 in downtown Atlanta, which is unheard of. That's making history for people who like wild, crazy stuff in Atlanta. I think that it's evolving into something that's, I think, a little bit more out of control than I want to be involved in. I think it's really cool because I used to be a street slider and drifter and whatnot, but it's turned into what they call a movement. I don't know what the message is, but they're trying to do something, and they're doing a really good job of pissing a lot of people off in Atlanta. I know that. I actually was introduced through a customer of mine to the Pink, the man who runs the show, because he knows I was a big deal with VINwiki, with some of the other YouTube guys we've done stuff with. He says, I want to introduce you this so you can help us advance this movement that we're trying to produce on Atlanta. So I kind of got a small idea of how they organize the stuff. I said, hey, how is it? I feel like a reporter. How do you put this stuff together? Okay, well, we pre-scout their places. We meet at a certain place one time. What they do on Instagram is they post the address on a story or a post for about 30 to 45 seconds, then delete it. And then an hour or two later, they'll post it again. So people who are real good followers will follow their story. When they see him post, they know what it's about. And it's the first meetup spot. That's where you congregate. And I'm not even kidding you, it's 1,000 to 2,000 cars at a time. Once I learned how it worked, I was very intrigued by maybe just going and experiencing it, because I'm a drifter. I enjoy doing wild, crazy stuff that the police don't like. So obviously I want to be involved a little bit. I think the craziest thing that I've seen since I've been there is we were going downtown and we were going to do some street racing. Obviously, I do a lot of it. And I had a customer's GTR at the time. We were going downtown to what we call Boat Rock. It's down by Six Flags. They were going to do some dig racing down there. On the way back, the same guy hit me with an address. It's Friday night. Let's see what's going on. And I noticed it was right next to the Mercedes Stadium. And we were on MLK and I think Peachtree Street. And this intersection was completely closed down all 4 ways. You could see the cops were coming. And what's interesting now is they don't even run to the cars anymore. They just sit there. So these guys are doing donuts literally in front of the Mercedes Stadium in the middle of the road. And everybody's just like, yeah, like this is so lit. Like it's so exciting. And I've noticed that the blockers were the ones that were keeping they were the regular cars, the trucks, the vans, whatever. They were keeping the police away so we could have the party on the inside. And that was important to have the party and the blockers, And the outskirt people were basically just blockers, and the cops didn't really care because they were trying to get to the guys that had the action. Back in the day, what they would do is just they'd light up, and then the blockers would just not move. And the cops would get out of their cars, and they'd walk up, and then they light everybody up. And the people that are doing the action, the donuts drifting, whatever you may call it, those are the people that were getting arrested and going to jail, car impound and whatnot. Now, it's changed, and the blockers are getting arrested too because they are obstructing the police officers from getting to the action. So now it's a lot less cars doing action, and there's more blockers. But they're also taking 90 to 100 people to jail now. They just did a big bust where they got almost 80 to 90 something people, then over 100 cars impounded. Almost every single person that got busted had weed on them, and almost every single person that got busted had at least a gun in their car. So a lot of firearm charges, a lot of possession charges. The blockers, you can't charge them with much because they're watching. So they're just trying to find any means to give them some kind of citation to say, hey, there's your slap on the wrist. Don't be involved with this anymore. As far as I know, reckless driving for the party guys, reckless driving, laying drags, just the generic. If you were to go out in a parking lot in the middle of nowhere and do donuts and a cop roll up, it's the exact same thing. They don't care if it's 100 people or one person. It's the same charge. It's usually reckless driving, laying drags, and just being an idiot. I've been street racing in Atlanta for about 15 years. Never have I ever had a gun shot in the air anywhere near me, nor have I done it myself. Never have I ever done any drugs in or around any illegal activities that we are already doing. Never have I ever had tannerite for any reason at so-called illegal drifting, shooting racing, whatever you want to call it. Since the time I've been there from the first time till now is the crowd has gotten a lot younger. And I don't know why, but I feel like younger people make a lot more stupider decisions as I did when I was that age, 19, 20, 21, 22. What's bad now is that they're filming all this social media, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, and the police have all these sources now to come to them. So at least when we street raced back in the day and did drift sliding, we would post it after the fact. We're not doing Facebook live videos while you're doing donuts in the middle of downtown Atlanta.
You're here because you like a good car story. But let's be honest, we've probably watched enough YouTube videos for a lifetime during the pandemic. It's time to get out of the house and make a story of your own. Extreme Experience puts you in the driver's seat of some of the world's most exciting cars, like this 2020 Corvette C8, at over 30 racetracks across the country. And right now, we're giving away $50,000 for the track experiences and 30% off everything on our website. Head to xxspeed.com to learn more today.